Welcome back, everybody, to the podcast. It's your boy J3 Productions and Ryo, and we are here once again to cover topics in the realm of comic books, video games, movies, TV, and the like. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get rolling on this week's topics. For topic number one, we have the new comic Absolute Batman. To my understanding, this is a new comic, kind of like a Elseworlds tale, an Earth made in Darkseid's image. We get our first issue this past week, I believe it was, and you've got a buffed out, insanely physical Batman. Spoiler alert! So if you don't want to be spoiled, skip to the next topic. But they introduced the Joker to us. We introduced new versions of all these characters. I know this is something Ryo wanted to touch on, so I'm gonna let you talk on it first.
Yes, as a huge fan of Batman, the legendary Scott Snyder has put his comic cap back on to give us Absolute Batman. As Jay mentioned, it is a reimagining of the DC universe in Darkseid's image. For the very first comic, I did have the pleasure of reading it online. We do have a buffed out, insanely buffed out Bruce Wayne. He is a blue collar worker. He's a construction worker. He's not the billionaire playboy that we are all used to. In this universe, his mother, Martha Wayne, is still alive. Unfortunately, his father, Thomas, was shot and killed. I believe it was a burglary he attempted to stop, and he was killed in front of Bruce, which eventually led him on the path to becoming Batman. And along with the new universe, you guys know we get new versions of characters. We do meet Waylon Jones. If everybody's familiar, he is Killer Croc. In this comic, he runs a gym and he is looking to collect exotic animals. And for whatever reason, he's in the gym. He's petting a crocodile. He wants a crocodile, and he is trying to get his license to have these animals legally. But he does get these exotic animals from Oswald Cobblepot, who everybody knows is the Penguin. And in this universe, a good majority of Batman's rogues, that being Killer Croc, the Penguin, even Catwoman, they are all friends in this universe. They all grew up together. They're all, I mean, they grew up together. They were in class in elementary school. They're all really good friends in this universe. And Alfred is a secret agent with the task of, I'm not sure, in the comic books, he is tasked with trying to kill Batman. So Bruce is still Batman, but he and Alfred do not know each other. Like we mentioned, he is an insanely buff Batman. Just freaking jacked. It's just tough to say. And a lot of people, I saw, they were making fun of the bat insignia because it spread out like obscenely across his chest. That is because that bat insignia comes out and it becomes a battle axe. And in the very first comic, we see Batman chop off a robber's hand, like completely cuts it off. So this Batman has no qualms of killing. I want to say he doesn't have a problem with killing in this new universe. He did chop
I
somebody's
think
hand off.
I think in somewhere in the text it's talking about they put in there like when he's going to battle with the knives, he's like, well, he's
Mhm.
cutting in such precision to make sure that not he doesn't kill everybody. He's not hitting an artery. So I
Right.
do I do feel like they're trying to establish that he's still a no kill guy, and he does tell the
Yeah.
guy like you can go to the hospital and it'll be fine. So I think he's still a no kill guy.
Yeah, and that's cool. I mean, we've seen throughout the years, we've seen different writers, directors, they've been playing with a lot of comic characters, stories and backgrounds, as you can see with this one, with Batman being a construction worker, and like Jay said, he cut his hand off with such precision. He's like, in a very kind of like dickish way, oh, I hear they can reattach it. And it's like, this Batman is new to everybody. I think it's got the potential to be a really good comic series, especially at the end where I did read that this guy's getting on a helicopter and one of his bodyguards is about to tell a joke. And the other one is like, don't say that in front of the boss because he doesn't laugh. That's why they call him the Joker. So we're getting a very serious, well, I want to say very serious Joker, not the clown prince of crime, but this Joker is, they call him the richest man. I think he is the richest man in Gotham. Don't know how he got his wealth. Don't know eventually how he and Bruce are going to get intertwined with one another. As we all know, Batman and the Joker are freaking. Their stories are destined. They're destined to be rivals. But yeah, and we are also getting Absolute Superman and Wonder Woman. I want to say in November. So be on the lookout for those. I didn't see when the next issue of Absolute Batman is coming out, but we're getting different versions of Superman and Wonder Woman as well as Batman. So I'm actually looking forward to see where this goes.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, the way I feel about it is, it's it's interesting. The Elseworlds and whatnot are,
Yeah.
it's. I don't know. Like, I mean, I feel like I've been fooled once on. I tried to get into the Earth One thing when they did that, kind of relaunching universe from scratch and giving it a different appeal, and it was fine. I read it. But like it's like you give any of these universes a long enough time, and you get a lot of creators. The continuity falls apart, the logic falls apart. Um, so I kind of just try and enjoy them as like kind of one shot things or whatever they are. But I'll follow it as long as I can. I'm not too mad at it. So
Yeah.
you'll have to keep me up to date on how it's going.
Yeah, man, I got you. And it's just interesting, they bring on these new writers, these new guys, a lot of them kind of like, yeah, I kind of want to stick to the original story, but then at the same time, I kind of want to do my own thing. And then it becomes this big thing where it's like the original, but then it's not. It's like, oh, it's that person's own thing, but then it's not. And then you kind of like see. I'm really just interested to see where they go. Like as far as the Batman's rogues gallery being his friends is kind of crazy, and Alfred's been his most loyal friend, and now he's trying to kill him. The Joker being rich is absolutely insane. I kind of want to see what they go with that as far as like what does he do? How does he get his money? He's got his own freaking like bodyguard team essentially. So it's like, yeah, kind of it's piquing my interest a little bit. It's piquing my interest.
That's fair. All right, on to topic number 2. I know we talked Green Lantern casting last time, and now we have another Green Lantern casting as Aaron Pierre is now cast as our John Stewart. What do you think about that?
So before I get into that, I want to rescind a statement I made in the last episode where I said that Kyle Rayner was my favorite Green Lantern. After doing my due diligence, and I mean, because I did watch Justice League Unlimited, but I, was kind of not familiar with the character. He was actually more appeal to my dad as far as me, but actually reading and getting to know who John Stewart is, me being, I'm a prior enlisted United States Marine, and reading that he is a Marine and architect. I mean, I gotta say that John Stewart has got to be my favorite Green Lantern. Yeah,
There you go.
I'm
Well,
just
welcome to the
off
side of
top,
right. Welcome to the side of right.
just off top. But as for Aaron Pierre, my wife and I did see that Netflix original movie that he's in, Rebel Ridge, where he actually does play a Marine. He's trying to get his cousin out of jail from, and he's dealing with a lot of racial problems in this movie. Very big racial problems in this movie. Um, as far as how he did to me in Rebel Ridge, I thought he played what I would think a Marine would actually be after, after retirement. He's combat trained, he's weapons trained, military mindset, very tactical. I thought he did a good job in the movie playing a Marine, dealing with, combat stress situations. Um, Do I think he would make a good John Stewart from what I've seen in his, that well, that's the only movie I've seen him in. I'm not gonna make a judgment because it's really like, and we talked about this, man. Casting. It's like, obviously they went down there, they did the auditions, the directors, and they're gonna pick who they think is the best person for the job. So I'm kind of waiting to see what he does as a Green Lantern. We've had an example of the Green Lantern when Ryan Reynolds played Hal Jordan, and I think John Stewart, from what he can do as far as being a Marine and an architect, I think he's going to be pretty cool. I don't know if you saw it, man. I did see a lot, and maybe a lot of people out there are watching the podcast right now. They've seen a lot of backlash he got from, oh, he's not dark enough to be John Stewart. John Stewart's traditionally dark. This guy's light. Hey, man, like, to me, let the best man for the job get the job. As far as that, colorism is it's a thing. We're not going to ignore colorism like it's not a thing. It's a thing. It happens. But I mean, come on, man. Let the best man. If he was the best man for the job, let the man have the job. I'm just happy we're getting a live action John Stewart. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the project just because I like John Stewart. I don't really care about the casting in the way that, like I said last week, I assume that whoever did the casting and sat and watched the interview, he did something right for what they're looking for. So from that point, I don't care. I do care from the point of just kind of starting to see the visual come together, kind of what the ranges of the characters look like age wise, and kind of where they're at in their
mhm.
careers and life. And so, and that'll be a topic for later. But that's really, I've never seen this guy in anything, and I didn't even I didn't even go watch any clips of him or anything because, I mean, he's an actor. So if I go watch him in one part, it has nothing to do with how he's going to be in the next part. So I just I will wait until I start to get some stuff from this. So, guys, what did you think of the casting? Drop down in the comments and let us know what you think. So, on to our next topic. We have um so the Matt Reeves universe, right? The Batman is in the Penguin so far, which I am watching the Penguin. I'm having a decent time with it. We'll talk about more of that in a second, but all the things flying around are that WB's in love with it, the reception the Penguin's getting, and they want to go ahead and expand on that, maybe do more offshoots. Obviously, the Batman 2 and what else will come after that. Um, I guess the question for you is how are you enjoying the Reeves universe, and what do you think of the of extending it? Also, there's been some people clamoring for, and I don't know if this would happen, but that Battinson being the DCU Batman. I think there's a whole bunch of reasons why that would never work. But what do you think about all that?
Well, I haven't started to watch the Penguin yet. It's definitely on my bucket list. If I'm being honest, guys, I got a bunch of shows on my back catalog of stuff. Uh, right now, I'm pretty much in the realm of making my wife happy, so she's got me watching freaking Love Is Blind. So, but I did see Robert Pattinson in the Batman movie. I gotta say, it was incredibly freaking long. I probably shouldn't have seen it around the time I wasn't feeling good, but as a Batman fan, and you guys can peep the Batman tattoo, like the Batman love is serious over here, so I had to go see it. As far as them spanning, once I watch the product, and you probably gonna have to keep me updated on it, man. Once I start to watch it and get a grasp of why everybody is looking to expand upon it, I can get further into my opinions, but I'm going to keep them held to myself until I, watch it. Don't want to talk about nothing, I don't know about. That's not really my style. But the Batman movie, I thought was a good opening, a good outing. I'm sorry for Robert Pattinson's Batman. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought the action scenes especially, were pretty cool. The Catwoman stuff, I could have dealt without. I don't think it was really needed. I don't think it was necessary, honestly. I would have liked them to introduce a different character other than the Riddler. I really didn't care for the Riddler stuff, honestly. The Penguin and the crime mob stuff was pretty dope, but I'm pretty sure that's why the Penguin's got his own show and the Riddler and Catwoman don't. But that's keep it to myself. But um, yeah, as far as them expanding on it, I think for me, I think it's gonna be like a wait and see. Let's wait and see how they do.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The Batman was long. I found myself waiting for it to be over by the end. And this goes with the DCU stuff when people are, when people are talking about, him being the DCU's, Batman. He absolutely could not be the DCU's Batman in his current incarnation. I mean, it's like when Marvel decided to bring Netflix Daredevil over, they powered him up, right? I mean,
Mhm.
the whole grounded, thing. I'm just tired of it with my Batman. I want a Batman who can go toe to toe with these gods. Like, yes, he's an average human being, but I need to be able to believe that he can be in this world of these gods and mutants and aliens and monsters, and they're all looking at him and they're worried about him because of what he might do. Like Ben Affleck's
Mhm.
Batman, physically, the way he moves, like he was a good, he was good on that. Like, I mean, he was believable in that role that he could do damage even though he's a mere human. I mean, in the Marvel universe, you've got the same thing. I mean, Black Widow goes in there and holds her own with aliens against super soldiers and gods and whatnot and whatnot. I
Yep.
don't need a Batman that I think would get his ass kicked by the MCU's Black Widow. I don't need that.
I
So
agree
for that
wholeheartedly,
reason,
bro.
right? For that reason, I am not into the Battins, the Battinson universe, the Reeves universe. I watch it. It is Batman. The Penguin show is a good show. I think the stuff is good in and of itself as a good movie. It's not the Batman I want to see. And then once again, I really don't want a bunch of stories in Gotham where we don't get to see any Batman. I'm not really, like I said that last week too. So all that to
Yep.
say, I don't begrudge anybody who likes it. I don't dislike it, but if you're gonna tell me, hey, you get one Batman movie, every 3 years, this is not what I'm here for. So
Yep.
maybe
I
I'm in the
definitely.
minority. I don't know. Maybe people love it. I don't know. I don't know. So
No,
um,
definitely, brother. I mean, you really hit the nail on the head, Jay, with that because I mean, like we're, like you just said, a Batman. I mean, Batman has just from the stuff I've read, the stuff I've watched. I mean, even the animated shows, Justice League Unlimited. I mean, he's freaking dodging Darkseid's Omega beams. And if you guys don't
right.
know, the Omega beams always hit their target, and it impressed Darkseid so much. I mean, he basically threw Batman a compliment. I mean, I can even go to say the Superman, Batman, Apocalypse. I don't know if you saw that one. Like, I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of DC's animation. I think their animation game is top tier. I mean, you got Batman about to set off like 500 hell spawns on the planet Apocalypse, not giving a fuck. And even Darkseid is like, Robert Pattinson cannot do that.
No.
No, he is from the movie, and like I said, I'll admit it was okay. I'll probably give it like a 6 out of 10. It was okay, but he's akin to Marvel's Thrasher to me. If you guys know, Thrasher is a vigilante, low level. I mean, he can handle street crime. Not saying Daredevil or Nightwing. Hell no, because I mean Daredevil, Nightwing, even Batman, they're top tier. But yeah, I'm so with you there, man. He was definitely given like, oh well, I can handle criminals and robbers and armed gunmen, and that's kind of it. I got a cool car, but like aliens, monsters, gods, demons, no, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He could not be on Apocalypse handling parademons. He could not be face to face with Steppenwolf like Ben Affleck was in the Justice League movie. No, he no. Robert Pat no. I mean, if they remake Twilight, yeah, he got it. But Batman, as like what as far as what we and I think we've got a good understanding, and we can kind of come together as far as what we want to see in a Batman movie. And I think we can both agree like Robert Pattinson ain't it.
Yeah. Well, guys, drop down in the comments and let us know how much you love or don't love Robert Pattinson's Batman, and what you think about the thought, which I don't think that's real at all. I don't care how much money the Batman makes. I can't. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I can't believe that the people at WB would be stupid enough to bring him in as is, as that Batman. So let us know down in the comments what you think of the expansion of Matt Reeves' Batman universe. Okay, our final topic today. All right, so as we start to get more of these castings, right, we're starting to kind of see what they're bringing together in terms of what the DCU is going to look like in terms of who's playing characters. And it feels like with the Hal Jordan, casting, obviously we have our Superman, our John Stewart cast this week. You're starting to see kind of the dynamic. It almost looks like Hal Jordan older, right? Superman, John Stewart look. They're going kind of like a early 30s type of vibe. And then the rumor swirling is that for the DCU Batman casting, they're looking in that early 40s, maybe mid 40s range, which if you consider they're doing, Damien in there, that makes sense that you would be doing that. So I have a lot of thoughts on this. I think this is partially for me what doomed the DCEU. But what do you think of the kind of age ranges that they're setting up for this new movie universe?
Um, I gotta be honest, man. Me myself. I don't particularly like it. I think it's gonna be one of those things where they're trying to tie it as well to their origin stories. I think it's kind of because if you notice with the MCU with Tom Holland Spider Man, they didn't even bother to go rehash his story because at this point, I'm assuming they know that fans are familiar enough with Spider Man to know, oh, got bit by a spider. Uncle Ben dies. Great power, great responsibility. Becomes Spider Man. His life kind of sucks. He can't pay his bills. I think that we kind of, they realize that we don't need to rehash this. We don't need another telling just because we have a new actor. I think we kind of got it, which is why with Tom Holland, they didn't even bother to mention Uncle Ben or anything like that. They actually saved the great power, great responsibility when his Aunt May died in No Way Home. If, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen No Way Home, I gotta say something's wrong with you at this point. But and with this older cast, not saying that these actors won't be able to perform, but it's kind of like, you've got this new universe and trying to tell a story that's kind of the same but different to kind of like just plot people in their, they're in their early 40s, late 30s, early 40s. Is kind of like, what now me looking at it, well, how are they going to do this? How are they going to, whatever the movie is about, how are they going to save the world from the impending apocalypse? Or how are they going to come together and, use these powers to stop this impending threat where it's like, I haven't seen these guys before. How are they going to, just me as a casual fan, just how are they going to do this? Of course, me being an insanely huge fan, yeah, they're going to eventually get it. We know. As a moviegoer, as a fan of the comics and the shows, yeah, they're going to come together and they're going to make it work somehow. But realistically, looking at it, like, it's kind of iffy to me. Might be my opinions, but it's like, yeah, I don't know, not really believable. You're not really drawing me in as much as you think you are. But might be my opinion, but yeah, it's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing that I really hated about the DCEU was that we got our Man of Steel. He's just now being Superman. He's barely been around while meanwhile, we get a Batman who's, been active for, a decade plus.
Hmm.
And I feel like I don't know how long this Superman's been active in the new universe, but once again, I don't I prefer my Superman and my Batman kind of in the same age kind of range grouping. And not that I guess by the time you get to 42 that it's not like you're super different than a 31, 32 year old, depending on the personalities. I mean, it's not an extremely different point in life in that way, but um I don't know. It's just like it feels like obviously if you put Batman, at that many years in, this many Robins in, that there's been so much he's done and experienced that we're just not
Right.
we're not privy to. And I don't need another Batman origin. I mean, you've got a young Batman and Pattinson running around. You don't need to rehash that, but um, I maybe something younger and closer to his not the start of his crime fighting career, but his real beginning of experience with all these superpowered beings around, and how he starts to interact with that. It's all in the execution. I mean, maybe I'll watch it and
Yep.
it'll be fine. And hopefully they don't rush through things. They take their time. I'm also not a Damian Wayne fan, so I could have. I hope they didn't make Batman older because they really wanted Damian Wayne, because I just don't find him that interesting, and I don't. I'm not, once again, I'm not here for it. So
Yeah. Gotcha.
I just think that that's with Hal being older, you know, he's obvious. I don't know how that looks, right? It's like Hal's got powers. I mean, he could have got the ring at any time, like just because he's
Hmm.
significantly older than if they go with Kyle Chandler's age, right? If they say he's going to be 50 plus, then he could have gotten the ring whenever, and he can roll with that. It doesn't mean he's been Green Lantern longer than Bruce has been Batman. It doesn't mean that.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
so once again, a lot of it's going to be in the execution, and I don't know. I mean, it's it's okay. It's just not what I would have wanted to see, or the direction I would have gone. But you know,
Right. I'm right there with you, man.
all right. Well, down in the comments, let us know, how are you feeling about the different age ranges that they appear to be going with these different heroes? Is that a concern of yours? Do you like the range? Did you like the range in the DCEU? Let us know in the comments, because we would love to know where we stand on that. So, all right. Well, we're gonna wrap things up here. Another solid episode, we feel. Like I said, we want to continue doing this weekly. We're gonna work hard to be on it, even though life comes at us fast. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna make the time. And once again, each week we will go through and we will look at some of the hot topics that come up in the world of comics, games, movies, TV, and the like. So. Uh, Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and tune back in for us next week.